Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds is the latest game to get the Nintendo Switch 2 update. Kirby and the Forgotten Land originally launched on March 22nd, 2022 for the Nintendo Switch. Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds is an update to that game, launched on August 28, 2025 for the Nintendo Switch 2. This latest update for the Nintendo Switch 2 takes advantage of the new hardware with some better visuals, smoother frame rate, and some added content. You can play Kirby and the Forgotten Land on the Nintendo Switch 2 without the expansion, but the better visuals and smoother frame rates are exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 version itself. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is most notable for being the first game in the Kirby series to feature full 3D level design and gameplay. While in the past, Kirby games have been side-scrolling adventures that normally have you going left to right on the screen and limiting you in that way. But that has changed as Kirby can now move in all directions freely in the new 3D landscape. The plot of Kirby and the Forgotten Land takes place in a new world after a vortex opens and sucks up Kirby and the other residents of Dreamland, bringing him to a new world that has signs of a long-lost civilization that once lived there. When Kirby arrives, he runs into a chinchilla-like creature that goes by the name Elflin that is trying to save the Waddle Dee that have been captured by a group known as the Beast Pack. A group of inhabitants of this world that resemble animals like dogs, rabbits, and other creatures. Kirby agrees to help Elflin save the Waddle Dee and fight the Beast Pack that has captured them. The two then travel across the world to different areas in order to help save the Waddle Dee. These areas can be viewed from the overworld map and range from a city landscape to a beach and even a volcano area. Each area of the game has its own theme and follows a series of 5 stages, then a boss battle at the end to tie the area together. Each stage has its own set of challenges and Waddle Dee you can save as you navigate through it. These challenges can range from finding a secret area to destroying a number of hidden objects around the level. Some levels even have mini bosses that will block your way until you can defeat them. By defeating them, you can gain their ability and use it as Kirby. Like previous games, Kirby can absorb enemies and gain their abilities, like absorbing a fire enemy to gain the ability to spit fire. But added to Kirby in the Forgotten Land is the new Mouthful mode, which allows Kirby to swallow larger objects to partially take on their abilities to get stronger. Items like a car to cross over terrain faster, a traffic cone that can be used to break through cracks and pipe in the ground, or a light bulb that allow Kirby to light up dark areas. By using all of these, Kirby can traverse the different levels and landscapes to save the Waddle Dee, find hidden collectibles, and complete challenges within the levels. By collecting Waddle Dee in the level, you can unlock different buildings and features in the Waddle Dee Village, an area of the map that acts as a home base for Kirby and the gang to relax between levels. As you rescue more Waddle Dee, the area expands to include things like the Ability Shop, a restaurant to replenish health, and a coliseum to challenge bosses from the game again. The Ability Shop is the spot I use the most during my playthrough, as it allows you to use the blueprints you find throughout the levels to upgrade the abilities Kirby can use. You can perform these upgrades by spending coins and using rare stones you earn by completing challenge levels that exist in tandem with the stages on the overworld map. These challenges test your skill at using the different abilities Kirby can obtain, as well as teach you different techniques with them that you may not have known about. The different abilities don't really have a tutorial on how to use them as you gain them, and it's usually through these challenges that you find out the different tricks that these abilities can do. When it comes to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it is a lot of fun. The different stages and levels are extremely unique, and the different themes chosen really add to the game. However, while the story itself is fine, it would have been nice if it was more spread out or teased in some way as you progress through the levels. As the game goes, there's only a few lines of dialogue until the end of the game when the entire plot mostly comes together. And the mini-boss battles you can run into are pretty repetitive with the same 3 to 4 bosses you can come across. The main bosses are pretty fun, but sadly there's only one of them in each of the stage areas. For anyone that played Kirby and the Forgotten Land back when it released on Nintendo Switch, all this is exactly the same as the original. Where the new content comes in for the Nintendo Switch 2 is the Star-Crossed Worlds levels. A comet has come down and landed in this world and threatens to unleash a great evil unless the Starries are collected to recontain it. The Starry have been scattered across the game as alternate versions of the stages Kirby has already completed and saved the Waddle Dee in. These stages unlock after you complete the first area of the game and feature new ways to navigate the stages with new starry powers. It's honestly a pretty cool concept, where some of the same stages are reused with new paths and collectibles to find. While at first glance it would seem like it's just a rehash of those same stages, they do feel entirely unique, with only the background really being the common factor. It's a new way to view the stages you already completed, and seeing the new starry expansions caused by the comet. Each stage in the expansion adds new collectibles, challenges, and some new mouthful modes for Kirby to use, like a spring, gear, and a sled. While the spring and gear add some new interesting ways to navigate the stages and were a lot of fun to use, the sled is kind of just a rehash of the car from the original game. I really didn't find anything different about it, but the other two mouthful modes definitely added a lot of new fun ways to navigate these levels. But overall, Starcross Worlds is a really nice addition to the game that adds on to what I consider to be my favorite part of the game, which is going through the stages and completing the challenges. I was hoping there would be some new boss fights added in, but sadly it just repeats the same mini bosses, but with new starry effects, and it only really has a single larger boss fight at the end of the expansion itself. Kirby and the Forgotten Land adds some great new mechanics to the Kirby formula, and the new 3D stage designs work really well with the Kirby series. It's kinda surprising it took so long for the series to make the jump from the side-scroller style, and I really hope that the future games continue with this 3D gameplay trend. The gameplay, as usual with Kirby, is very fun, and the stage designs and themes make for a great game. However, Kirby and the Forgotten Land isn't without its faults. The story is almost non-existent in the first half of the game. It really just piles on out of nowhere toward the end. I also would have preferred if there was some more personality and story behind the bosses as you fight them. While the boss fights all feel unique or are a ton of fun to go through, they don't really have any personality or story that ties them in with the rest of the game outside of their themed area. And while the main bosses feel unique, the mini bosses found within the stages themselves get really repetitive as the same 3 to 4 continually get recycled throughout the game. It feels less exciting running into the same mini boss for the 4th time, more of just an obstacle you can't wait to get past so you can continue the stage. The Starcross Worlds expansion itself, though, adds some more fun ways to go through the stages you recognize, and overall adds more of what made the original game so fun, so it's a very welcome addition to the game. And in my opinion, it's definitely worth the value to grab it if you can. With all that said, I give Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Starcross Worlds a 4 out of 5. I love the Kirby series, and the jump to 3D really worked for this one. The gameplay, abilities, and overworld are all nearly perfect in my opinion. It's only the spotty story, the lack of depth in the bosses beyond the gameplay, and the reuse of the mini-bosses that hold this game back in my opinion. But if you play Kirby and the Forgotten Land, let us know in the comments what you thought of the game. And if you like this review and want to see more, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot and lets us know this is the kind of content you want to keep seeing. And if you have suggestions for other games you think I should play, let us know as well. Until next time, this has been Brad with the Bickering Nerds.